This is WKYT News at Noon.
And good afternoon to you. I'm Barbara Bailey from WKYT.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon. Rescue crews are back at a southern Kentucky river this midday. They're trying to find a man who disappeared after his boat capsized.
His canoe flipped last night on the Rockcastle River, and his son says he never resurfaced. WKYT's Phil Pendleton is near the scene now with the very latest on the search. It's our top story at noon.
We are right here on the Laurel-Rockcastle County line. This is where the search and rescue crews are focusing their work right now to try to find the 70-year-old man. We are told that he and his son were canoeing, and they had probably put in their canoe somewhere around the I-75 bridge on the Laurel-Rockcastle County line and came in this direction. Where they think this accident happened is about 1.5 miles from here. They believe that they actually hit a tree that was either all the way or at least partially submerged in the water. And they believe that this probably happened as they were coming around a curve and they really didn't see the tree until it was too late.
Son stated that the father was trying to gather some possessions, I assume were in the canoe, and went under and never resurfaced.
Now, officials are not releasing the name of the man. All we are being told is he is about 70 years old and he is from the Eubank area, and that he and his son were out on some kind of expedition or excursion, maybe a camping trip, when this took place. In Laurel County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. And emergency officials say the canoe is still at the location where the accident happened. They say they think this is probably a recovery instead of a rescue operation at this time.
The man who police say is responsible for the brutal death of a central Kentucky little boy was back in front of a judge this morning. Ronald Exantis is charged with murder, burglary, and assault. Police say Exantis broke into a Versailles home back in December and stabbed 6-year-old Logan Tipton to death. WKYT's Mark Barber is at the Woodford County Courthouse in Versailles with the latest on that case. Mark?
Profile case to last any longer than necessary, but because the attorneys on the case are also working other cases, it will be another 2 months before the judge will determine if Ronald Exantis is competent to stand trial.
We firmly believe that Ronald Exantis murdered our beloved boy randomly and in cold blood for his own disgusting reasons. We do not believe that he is insane, and we will be waiting patiently for the evidence to prove this in his inevitable trial.
The judge will review the state's psychiatric evaluation of Exantis in August to determine whether the 32-year-old understands the charges against him and whether he's able to help his attorneys defend him. The Indiana man was arrested in December after police say he broke into a home in Versailles and stabbed 6-year-old Logan Tipton to death while he was sleeping. Exantis' attorney says he suffered a psychotic break and does not remember anything. She tells WKYT it took doctors months to snap him out of psychosis.
Her defense is very, very tired.
Tipton's family filled 2 rows in the courtroom this morning, wearing the young football player's number. His father says if he could, he would take his son's place.
It's everything about my son. Everything.
The Tiptons say if anything good has come from this, it has been the generosity of the community. They tell me that they've been given more than $110,000, and that generosity has allowed them to buy a new home for their 4 children. In Woodford County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. If Exantis is found competent to stand trial, attorneys say it could be at least another year before the death penalty case could go to trial. The man hit and killed on Interstate 64 earlier this week will be laid to rest this afternoon. Police say 66-year-old Stanley Willoughby died after being hit by several cars in the eastbound lanes of I-64 near the Fayette-Clark County line early Monday morning. Willoughby's visitation will last until 1 o'clock at Scobie Funeral Home in Winchester, and to be followed by his funeral. He will be buried at the Winchester Cemetery.
We are switching from a dry pattern to a wet one today as chances for showers and storms ramp up this afternoon. and it's expected to carry us through the weekend. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center now with a look ahead.
Yeah, a few rumbles in the forecast later on today. I'd say the best timing for this, not the only timing, we'll still get that small chance of rain from now through about 4 or 5 p.m., but 5 to about 11 p.m. That's when we expect a couple of rumbles to slide on in here. Remember, it's not a washout. Some will get it, some will not. It's about 40% chance. And I'll take you into the afternoon and evening. So heading out to eat might be a little dicey for some of us with some of those heavy downpours and also some lightning. Then we head off through the next few days. It's going to be louder. It will be cooler in the forecast, and that's what we're going to be focusing in on here in the next 24 to 48 hours, is focusing in on that cooler air, diving on in here, and those thunderstorms. We'll get into that forecast. I'll show you your weekend coming up.
Okay, see you then. We'll find out in about an hour which Kentucky counties will be selected for a post-election audit. Attorney General Andy Beshear is required by law to do a post-election audit following each primary and general election. The audit is a search for any potential irregularities during the election. Beshear will randomly select the counties and that will be taking part. That will be at 1 o'clock. Lexington city leaders are holding a public meeting right now to answer questions and hear concerns about the city's plans to renovate the historic Fayette County Courthouse downtown. The city released renovation plans for the vacant building last week, but they're seeking input from the community before the work begins. Folks get an opportunity to see renderings of the proposed $30 million renovation, as well as review and comment on the environmental remediation plan for the building. Well, the University of Kentucky baseball team is now looking for a new head coach.
Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart announced this morning that Gary Henderson has resigned after 8 seasons at UK. WKYT's Dave Baker is live now with today's developments. Buzz?
Guys, last week Alabama and Kentucky played a game in the SEC tourney with huge NCAA tournament implications. Alabama won but still missed the tourney, and head coach Mitch Gaspard resigned over the weekend. The Cats also missed the NCAAs for a second straight year, and this morning Gary Henderson resigned after 8 seasons. Henderson was promoted to head coach when John Cohen left for Mississippi State in 2009. He compiled a 258-199 record in those 8 years. UK won at least 30 games in each of his last 5 years, the first time in school history the Wildcats had won 30 in 5 straight seasons, and he also became the fastest coach to reach 200 wins in school history. But in the ultra-competitive world of college baseball, not only in the SEC, but here in the state, the Cats weren't keeping up. In a letter to UK fans, Henderson said, quote, "We've just completed consecutive 30-plus win seasons for the first time in Kentucky baseball history, and we've competed in 2 NCAA regionals. That said, it is 100% my decision to resign at this time, based in part because the results don't meet my expectations," end quote. UK Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart is at the SEC meetings in Destin, Florida. His reaction and where he may turn for a new coach next, coming up in sports.
Dave, thank you. And Henderson was named SEC Coach of the Year in 2012, but UK failed to advance past the NCAA regionals.
Well, police are now investigating the parents of the 3-year-old boy who climbed into that Cincinnati Zoo gorilla exhibit over the weekend. We'll have the latest coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, Kentucky native Johnny Depp is trying to keep a low profile while on tour with his band in Europe. We'll show you how he handled questions about his personal life next on WKYT.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. Egypt says a French ship has picked up signals now from the Mediterranean Sea, presumed to be from the black boxes of the Egypt airplane that crashed last month.
The Civil Aviation Ministry says a second ship affiliated with the Deep Ocean Search will join the search team later this week. Locator pings emitted by flight data and cockpit voice recorders only last for 30 days. The plane crashed May 19th, killing all 66 people on board. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump is back on the campaign trail in California this afternoon, a day after a combative news conference in New York over money he raised for veterans earlier this year. Trump railed against reporters who pushed him to reveal the names of groups that had received the money. Trump's likely Democratic opponent, Hillary Clinton, bashed him, saying his tendency to attack critics is a recipe for congressional gridlock.
The Department of Agriculture is reviewing security at the Cincinnati Zoo after the death over the weekend of an endangered gorilla. Harambe was shot and killed in order to save a 3-year-old boy who had entered the exhibit. Jamie Yukas has the latest on the investigation.
Investigators are trying to figure out how a young boy ended up in the grasp of a more than 420-pound gorilla. The encounter, which resulted in zoo officials killing Harambe, is igniting a discussion over zoo security.
Safety protocols for zoos are thoroughly vetted.
According to the Association of Zoos and Aquariums, or the AZA, exhibits where animals and visitors are not supposed to come in contact need to have at least one substantial barrier, such as a guardrail or fence in place. On Saturday, the child made his way past a 3-foot fence, through several feet of bushes, and down a 15-foot moat.
The exhibit's safe and the barrier's safe.
The zoo has repeatedly defended their security.
They need to make that place safe.
But critics such as Michael Budke, a co-founder of the activist group Stop Animal Exploitation Now, disagrees.
Clearly there are issues with this enclosure. Federal regulations require enclosures within facilities like zoos have both perimeter fences and physical barriers.
The group filed a complaint with the USDA Monday, claiming the Cincinnati Zoo violated the Animal Welfare Act. They point out that the zoo has had incidents in the past, including one in March when 2 polar bears escaped from their inner enclosure for about 2 hours. No one was hurt.
The Association of Zoos and Aquariums last visited the Cincinnati Zoo 2 years ago. At that point, no issues were reported. In Cincinnati, Ohio, Jamie Yukas, CBS News.
And the boy's parents say he is doing well after his latest checkup. They say many have offered support, even money, which they will not accept. In a statement, they said, quote, "If anyone wishes to make a gift, we recommend a donation to the Cincinnati Zoo in Harambe's name." Well, Kentucky native Johnny Depp is reportedly keeping to himself amid abuse allegations from his estranged wife.
Actress Amber Heard filed for divorce from Depp last week. She was granted a temporary restraining order claiming he physically assaulted her. Depp has been touring Europe with his band, the Hollywood Vampires, and was met with huge cheers when he took the stage in Sweden, despite the calls for a boycott of the show. Depp did take some time to sign autographs for fans outside his hotel in Stockholm, but when a reporter asked him about the accusations against him, he refused to answer.
Coming up at 12:30, the latest on the investigation into several early morning burglaries in Lexington in which someone shattered the front doors, then entered the various businesses.
Now, your zone-by-zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Officially the first day of June. It's unbelievable how fast this year is flying by, but let's recap what we went through with May. You know it was rainy. There's no doubt about that. How about average temperature? Average temperature was 63 degrees, which just so happens to be just below that 64-degree reading, which we typically are at. Now, rainfall, 6.49. Now, that is above average. And I know you're looking at that saying, listen, I picked up close to 6 inches of rain in just 2 days in some spots. That is true. You got to remember that these are out at airports, not your backyard. So there were some spots a little bit higher than that, but officially, unofficially is your backyard, my backyard, but officially out at the airports, we were 1.59 above average here for rainfall here in Lexington. Frankfort was just below, and it looked like a lot of places were at least right around it. So let's take you off and see if we're going to see any more rain to add to that rain gauge. As of right now, nothing going on, but remember, when I always look in toward this time of day, because this time of day you start to see some of these clouds form, and when they start to pop up, then you're talking about watching out for some thunderstorms or showers to roll on through. So this is one area that will come into the southern half of our viewing area here in about 3 or 4 hours. Then here's the next area back toward the west that's actually moving eastbound. So this is really what you're going to be watching, but still we can expect at least some out of this in the next few hours. So that's really something to watch out for. I'd say if you wanted to do some yard work, get the kids out to the pool, you can do it within the next couple of hours. This is not a washout. Most of us will be dry as opposed to being wet. So take off and enjoy that. Temperatures there in the lower 80s. It looks good the rest of the day temperature-wise. We're there in the low to mid to upper 80s, that is. And then I would say anytime from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m. p.m. That is your best bet from now until this point. That's your best bet to see a few rumbles move on in. Now remember, like I was talking about, this may take you off into the evening and night when some of us head to bed. It could be a little bit of a loud night overnight if you get one of those rumbles to roll on through. No severe weather is expected. The headlines to break it down for you the next 48 hours, it's going to be pretty warm. 87 today, 82 for tomorrow. But then that active pattern comes together. And when that happens, you get a front coming in. These aren't pop-up thunderstorms anymore. This is frontal induced, which means you're going to have cloud cover. You'll have widespread rain on some of those days. But none of these days look like washouts. But I will tell you this, not only are you going to get that cloud cover and also those rain chances keeping those temperatures down, but also the cool air behind the front. That's going to help us out big time as you look at those temperatures heading off towards your weekend. Again, none of this is widespread washed out type of days, but it's still, if you get under one of these tropical downpours, well, you'll get a lot of heavy rain out of that. It's one of those things. These yard sales coming up, 68, 25 yard sales starting tomorrow off through your weekend. Just know you might have to hold that tarp and get that. Don't sell the tarp. All right, keep the tarp, get that ready, and maybe even take it
make
on
sure
into the garage.
that is not for sale.
That's right.
So be sure the cloud doesn't follow you all day. Right?
That's right.
We're back in just a moment, and one of the nation's best baseball teams is right here in Kentucky, and you might not even know about it.
And he's regarded as one of the best baseball men in the business, but he's leaving UK. Dave Baker's next with sports.
Checking stocks as we head to break this afternoon. The Dow is down, NASDAQ up a little, and the S&P 500 little changed.
As we told you earlier in our show, Gary Henderson out as Wildcat baseball coach after 8 seasons. After taking over as head coach in 2009, Henderson's Wildcats had a huge season in 2012. UK won a school record 22 games in a row. They were ranked #1 in the nation for 3 weeks during the season, the first #1 ranking for the program, and set another school record for wins with 45. Henderson was named SEC Coach of the Year, and UK advanced to the finals of the NCAA Regional in Gary, Indiana. He returned to the NCAA tournament again in 2014, again reaching the regional finals with a 37-win campaign, but no NCAA tourney the last 2 years. And Henderson made a decision today that he said was 100% his. At the SEC meetings in Destin, UK Athletics Director Mitch Barnhart thanked Henderson for his service, adding, quote, "He has poured his heart and soul into Kentucky baseball, giving us many of the best seasons and most thrilling moments in our history while competing in the most difficult league in America. He has conducted himself and the program with honor and integrity." Louisville's Dan McDonald, one of the hottest names out there. He will certainly, I think, get a call from Mitch Barnhart. We'll keep you abreast on that. One of the best high school baseball teams in America right here in Kentucky. Last night, Greenup County taking on Rowan in the 16th Region Baseball semifinals. Greenup ranked 9th nationally, leading 1-0 in a 6th. Future Louisville card Cam Plank changes that with one swing, and boy, does he know it. Solo homer. It's all tied at 1. Later in the 6th, bases loaded for Corey Binion, the comebacker. And they can't handle it. And the go-ahead run scores 2-1 Rowan County. Same score, bottom of the 6th. Jared Hunt hits a seriously high chopper to first. That gets the tying run home at 2-2. And after Rowan County commits an error, the pitch gets away. The throw to third sails into left. Tristan Downing comes home. Greenup now 38-1 as they win it by a count of 3-2. And moments ago, we mentioned the SEC meetings down in Destin. Besides meeting with coaches and shaping policy, it's also the time when the networks release their early season football schedule, and the Cats are coming to WKYT. Kentucky opens the SEC portion of the schedule in Week 2 against the defending Eastern Division champs in the Swamp, and you can see the CBS broadcast of Kentucky and Florida Saturday, September 10th, 3:30, right here on WKYT. Tonight on the Big Blue Insider with Dick Gabriel, former UK guard Joe Crawford, who will compete in the winner-take-all $2 million basketball tournament, and Herald leader columnist John Clay. I'm sure they'll be talking a little Gary Henderson. That's at 6 on 630 WLAP. Former Cat the Deuce, Tim Couch, on the College Football Hall of Fame ballot for the 4th straight year. More on that comes your way a little bit later today, as well as more reaction to Gary Henderson's resignation. But for now, guys, that's a look at sports on this Wednesday.
Yeah, thank you, Dave. A busy day in sports. And coming up next, we have a lot more on WKYT News as you keep it here with us.
We'll take you to a ribbon-cutting ceremony for the Kentucky American Water's newest facility.
Part of a dead-end Jessamine County road is scheduled to close today for railroad repairs. Coming up at 12:30, you'll hear from people living along it about their concerns with that closure.
Tonight's Powerball jackpot, $100 million, and Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $251 million.